Here we go. We're in the hundreds. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for being part of this journey, not only if you listened the first time, but if you're revisiting too. I love making these. I've got so many more that I want to share and other people I want to speak to too. So thank you so much for being part of it. Episode 101 is with Dr. Kaz. And again, it's a really vital conversation of how you can find that balance between somebody who maybe wants to be very ambitious, but also wants to have a very stable home life, whatever that might look for you. And really looking at tools that you can do that so you're not in this constant, overwhelmed, half empty, staggering through life setup. And I know many of us have felt that feeling of being burnt out. So do check out this episode. Dr. Kaz is very practical, and of course it's based in science, it's based in research, and she has so much good stuff to say. Interview 102 is with Jen Fuller. Now, she is the founder of Etta Loves, who create these beautiful baby products. And when I had Luna, she was so generous to send me this amazing package of a playmat and some muslins. And she creates these products that work with babies' eyesight. So many of you may or may not know that babies can't actually see in colour, I think, until they're about 6 months. So it's really working. She's really worked these patterns so they optimize babies' eye health, and it's just amazing what she does. And we still use that playmat, even though my children are way beyond that sort of just lying down, staring at the ceiling. They want to be dangling off things. But we've kept that playmat. We love playing with it. And the kids quite often will do Duplo or something on it. And it was so generous of her. I can't thank you enough, Jen, if you're listening. So do check out Etta Loves, the website. Next, 103 with Natalia Sanders, who is the founder of Clear Desk VA. Natalia has been a client of mine for several years now, and I love how every step of the way she's really listening to what she needs from her business. And I think that's a really valuable conversation to have with ourselves, because it's not just about doing more. It's about listening and making sure that there is the blend that you want, that feels right for you, for your family, for your personality, for your setup, however you want to live your life. So I know there'll be lots of practical solutions in here. Finally, in this episode, Rebecca Cross, who is an authentic business strategist and entrepreneur. I love her no-nonsense attitude, that sense of like, right, let's get this show on the road. What we doing? What needs to happen? Because I think sometimes we all need a bit of that energy. I know that sometimes I can get stuck in my head, or like, does this feel right? Are the stars aligned? What is my intuition saying? And sometimes it's like, send the email, Nikki. Do the thing. Show up. Get on with it. Of course, there is a balance, as there is with lots of things, but I think you'll really love her personality and approach. All right, that's it for now. As always, you can check out more details on nikkiraby.com, find out how we can work together, etc. It's all there on my brand new website. So once again, nikkiraby.com, and I'll see you very soon. Lots of love. Bye.
I would say that the main theme that comes through without them even needing to say very much is feelings of overwhelm, and feeling that overwhelm is just, it's actually quite paralysing. So even when I start helping them to unpick, and even the simple process that I described of where I go around the house and I let my mental load settle and actually creating a to-do list, even the to-do list can feel incredibly overwhelming if it's something that you haven't done before, and if you're not used to starting and stopping to think and stopping and allowing yourself that headspace. Because I think sometimes the overwhelm is what gets us through every day, because we're just on a bit of hamster wheel of just going and going and going and going. And actually, a big part of my work is to encourage people to just stop, and that can be quite frightening.
Yes, because I guess as well, because that kind of meets guilt halfway, sometimes we're in that moment of like, well, I must have missed something then. If I'm sitting down and I've done everything, what have I missed?
Absolutely. Well, and then things start to emerge, and sometimes the things that are coming up are not comfortable things, and they're not welcome. And to be able to feel that you have to sit there and face into those things can be really confronting. And so again, that's part of my role is to help. It's about helping with mindset and encouraging people to sit in that discomfort, however briefly they can manage, just to enable some shifts to happen, because the shifts actually come very quickly once you put the time in. And I talk about doing the work. Doing the work is actually hard work, and it can be emotional work as much as anything. And it can also, because we are mums and we're not just doing our own stuff, we're actually managing a series of relationships. So I always see the mum as at the centre of the universe, like the sun. And then the children and the husband are like the planets sort of orbiting and actually asking, where are my socks, and where's my lunch? And I know that some houses are much more equal in terms of the domestic load, but I'm talking about a typical experience, and actually the mums I work with tend to focus a lot more on the domestic stuff than their partners.
Be mutually beneficial, and the end product has to just be wonderful. It has to make people kind of gasp. That's always really the aim for me. So yeah, it's definitely a big part of my strategy for the next kind of year or two. But like I say, it's got to be the right ones and not too many. And they've got to, I want to feel really passionate about what we can co-produce with someone else.
And what kind of topics or conversation starters do you bring up in those kind of meetings to make sure that it is going to be mutually beneficial? Because I guess sometimes, say somebody might have a meeting with Cowshed, I guess what you don't want to do in that moment is be so overwhelmed with, oh my goodness, I've had that with some castings sometimes, like, oh my goodness, this is it, guys, I'm going to Hollywood, see you later. And you almost get caught in the excitement and the frenzy of it. But also now, because I'm a grown-up, that you do have to have that sense of, okay, I've got to have a bit of a game face here, and show that I mean business without being cold and sort of stubborn in that way. What helped you sort of land that collaboration and get to a point where you came away going, ooh, this feels really good?
I think from the off, because their development team contacted me, that was the moment where sort of I received that email and this follow-up call, and whilst I was sounding all calm and collected on the phone and on my email, I was sort of punching the air and doing
the running man,
screaming. Yeah, and you put the phone down, you call everyone you know, but you say, I can't tell you what it is, but this would be amazing.
Yeah.
So I think actually, and there's a big conversation we're having at the moment for something next year, which I've just signed the contract on. It's annoying, I can't tell you about it, but that I've actually been really, really open about how excited I am. And I think they really like that, because a lot of companies, particularly if they are bigger and more established, they kind of feel wonderful making another company sort of just dance around.
Research and setting stuff up in the background. Like, I had a website ready to go. I didn't spend forever on it and just about to press publish, but I set up my website, really simple website, and an Instagram and a Facebook account. And then I used Canva to design my logo. I did everything really simply. And I just started posting on social media, really basic stuff. Gosh, if I scroll down to the bottom, things like, do you want to feel da-da-da, that kind of thing.
Yes. And
I directed people to my website where I had a really basic contact form. And my first client found me through there. And then my second client, somebody mentioned me on a post, but I basically just started marketing myself from a place of experience, which I didn't really have, I suppose, because I didn't have that client. But I was very honest that I'm so excited to be launching my new business. I came from it with a lot of energy because I was really excited about it. And then when I got my first client, I was like, oh. So
I'm going to retire.
I know, I'm done. I started in September. And like the reality of this is our eldest daughter was at preschool, and we could only afford to send her to preschool because I had no income initially, 2 days a week. And Chris and I said, right, we're going to invest in 2 days a week childcare for both girls from up to Christmas, from September to Christmas, because we can afford to trial this. And if it doesn't work, then at least you gave it a go, right?
Yeah, nice.
So that's what we did, because I couldn't do it. Like, I was shattered by the evening with the kids, and then I wasn't giving it my... Exactly. So,
oh my God. And then I've got to say, right, I've got to be grateful that we're doing this. So I think all these things in life for me, the gratitude, the understanding where we come from and understanding how we maintain it, is really important. And that's what makes us, I feel that all of us more abundant. And that's when we're going back to when I talk about working in flow and your purpose. It puts your vibration higher, and that's when you start realizing things come into play. But it is about understanding the foundations, and that's part of the foundations for me.
How do you know, which is a tricky question, but how do you know what your purpose is if you don't know what your purpose is?
Right, well, I like to simplify things. So for me, this is what I'm like. Are you getting out of bed every morning like excited? Are you getting out of bed every morning thinking, I can't wait? So my mission is to help 2 million women. So every morning I'm thinking, what am I doing today? Is my Facebook group engaged? No, right, I've got to sort that out. What am I going to do? I get excited about how I'm going to help them. Am I going on live today? What am I going to do? And it's am my one-to-one sold out? Are my programs on track? And I get so excited because I'm like, yes, when they come on board and I know what results they're going to get, I know I'm on purpose. If you're not feeling like that, if you're feeling like this is a drag, I can't be asked, then you're not on purpose. Because when things are rough or things are tough, if you always remember your purpose, that's what will motivate you to keep going.